Hello, good morning. Good morning. It is a wonderful Saturday morning. Actually, it's raining out there, but welcome to On the Couch with, of course, Dr. Diamond. We have Miss Rajanta, Miss Sanella, and we have Michelle. What is our responsibility is to educate our Black and Brown communities. So today, our topic is our continued series. So we're going to be talking about betrayal and the broken trust between friends. So before we get started, I'm gonna bring on my co-hosts today. So we have Miss Rajanta. Good morning, my dear. How are you this
Morning. I'm
morning?
well. I'm good.
We have Miss Sanella getting ready to come on as well. And then we have a special co-host with us this morning too. We
Good
have
morning.
Miss Michelle Matthews. How you doing?
Good
How is
morning.
everyone doing this morning? Although it is rainy out there,
Mhm.
but thank you all for coming on this morning, and thank you for virtual. Because I tell you what, I don't know if I would want to be out here in this rain. What y'all think?
Not
Mm-mm.
at all.
Not today.
No. Nope.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't the rain, I don't know now, but I'm not going to complain because we could have had it worse. What do y'all think? The
We could have
snow,
had some snow.
Ice. The black ice.
ice, yes,
Mm.
ice, and we are not experiencing any of those things. So you know what? I say, hey, we had a blessing. Now we're going into a wonderful season of spring. That's mine, spring and summer. I am looking forward to having a wonderful summer. What do you
Me
all have
too.
planned for the summer?
I'm gonna
I
go
don't
somewhere.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna be on somebody's beach all summer. That's the
Okay.
plan. That's the
Well, I'm
plan.
starting my spring out. Going to Jamaica in a couple of weeks. Yes. Me and the
Mm-hmm.
family, we're going on a little vacation. My brother's getting married or renewing vows, and it's a lot of us. So we are very excited about that. It's family trip, relaxation. They can tour and travel and do all that, what you call them, excursions, all they want to do. I'll be relaxing on the beach with
Exactly.
my grandchildren. Yes.
Yes, that
Mhm.
sounds good. And it's
Yeah.
funny, I'll be going to Jamaica in a couple of weeks myself. Going to
Okay.
Vegas first,
Uh-huh.
and then going to Jamaica also for the month of April. So I'm looking forward to
Oh, where are you
relaxing.
going in
Yes.
Mm.
April?
We're
Wait.
going at the end of April from the
Okay.
27th to the 30th, and then we're going to Las Vegas 2 weeks before that. So we'll be
Nice.
there for a nice event that we'll be attending. It's a surprise event, but we'll be
So you
Okay.
going.
all are
Okay.
getting your
Yeah,
hot girl
yeah,
summer started
Yes. Yes.
early.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't
yeah.
mad.
That's right. That is exactly right. So, you know what? We're going to jump into our topic, but before we get there, we also had and celebrated Women's Month, and a part of Women's Month and what we discussed was about women in general, how we have good friends, what they mean to us. And when I tell you we want to end this series kind of strong, but we want to end this series with touching the area we need to go to today.
Absolutely.
Uh, of course, we keep it 100% here on the couch, and that's what we'll do. This is what we'll be known for, is to be 100% truthful to everyone. So this is where we will begin. What is it like to be betrayed by your friends? What is that like? And how does trust gets broken and how trust is not gained? So there was a series of questions that I asked on our Facebook page, and we're going to be answering those questions as we go along. So let's start with that. What is betrayal?
I think betrayal is just first off, it's awful. It's heart wrenching, and it could be for me. It's like believing in someone and then them showing you that they don't believe you in the same way by kind of maybe a callous action, maybe being there for you when they should have been there for you, but they're gonna really kind of go and do something for someone else and it not be like about their word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
So
agree.
anyone else, betrayal, how would you define it?
I would even
Hmm.
think about like
Um,
a ex boyfriend, a
it could
ex
be, yeah,
girlfriend,
yeah.
classmate.
Mm-hmm.
It can.
Mm-hmm.
I think betrayal is hurtful. Um, and it can ruin how you view people, other people. So it's something that I think that when You betray your trust. We'll say that because I've trusted you enough to give you a piece of me, and when it's broken, it doesn't allow you sometimes to give yourself to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. I like the fact that you alluded to it can be broken, but it can affect you in the long run. It does. I've come across many women and those that I have worked with in counseling that they talk about their broken trust with other females, mother, sister, friends, and it's a lifetime because when you go back to their childhood, that's where they ended up getting the broken trust happen, and
Yes.
it lasts a lifetime. So it comes back to those of us that won't harm them in any way, but we're being put in that category because of the hurt. So they carry this long-term hurt that we're
Hmm.
dealing with. So when you start off like, oh, I don't trust women, but you don't even know me yet. So how where does that phrase come from? So have you all heard that before?
Yes,
I don't trust
absolutely.
women.
Absolutely. And I think just that lack of trust that we might learn or experience early on, it might limit us as we go on through our life. We're asking for help, or maybe um, not being in a relationship, a healthy relationship with this person because of this. Maybe I'm not going to go and apply for this job because so and so is the supervisor there, and I don't trust women. So it shows up in many different spaces in our life. And it affects us.
Hmm.
It limits us.
But I
Yes.
wonder if when you start a relationship with another female, you learn different triggers and there are boundaries that you learn in just being with a male. Sometimes I think things get blinded from I can tell you my deepest, darkest secrets, and then you hold it against me
Hmm.
later. Or sometimes we're not mindful of the things that come out of our mouth. So if that's their trigger, why would we say something that triggers someone else? And it may not be intentional, but people take it
Hmm.
intentionally.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. So being
Absolutely.
mindful of triggers, getting to know that person, not using their deepest secret that they stated to you or something that happened in their life shouldn't come back as a weapon. But if you
right.
are that type of person and you utilize people's information as a weapon, shouldn't you be checking yourself to figure out why you're that way? Because you shouldn't be that way to someone else.
But
Absolutely.
sometimes
So
people
that's
don't know that that's their way or that they're doing it. Like I don't know. Some people do talk to people and their intentions are to hurt, but some people don't even know hurt people, and I don't may not even know that I'm that hurt person that's hurting somebody else, but we never take the time. We tend to cut people off before we have a conversation. And I say that because I've encountered a relationship with a female that I told her what my triggers were. I told her what my boundaries were. We've had multiple conversations, and then when something else happened, I was done. So some people are like, "Oh, that's harsh." But no, that's my boundary. And those were my triggers. And we did have a conversation. So the person can never come back and say, we didn't talk about it. We talk about it. We talked about it
Hmm.
over and over again. But how many times are we going to keep repeating the same thing that what you do to me is triggering?
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
I would say to that, that is when healing, and I'm hoping that that's the direction that this forum goes in today,
Hmm.
about the healing um, level that we need to get to. Because think about it, a lot of the hurt that we have experienced, our first hurts have more than likely been in the home, with our
Right.
sisters, with our
Hmm.
brothers, with our mothers, fathers. Those are the beginning of our some of our closest relationships.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
um, that's where that first beginning of the hurt comes. So then we get older and then we try to make friends.
Hmm.
We don't know really how to make friends.
Absolutely.
We're not taught that. I'm teaching that, but I got to think about it. When I was younger, it was the lessons that I learned outside. Not that,
Hmm.
but I didn't have any sisters in the home. You know what
Hmm.
I'm
Right.
saying? So pretty
Yeah.
much almost being raised as a only child. I had my brother there, but he was just doing his own thing. But
Hmm.
those relationships, those some of those hurtful relationships came from when we were younger. Then we grow up, and then we meet other people, and again those triggers come. So those
Absolutely.
triggers come, but we're connecting to people like that because that's what we know.
Trauma bonded.
So we have to, yeah, trauma bonding. So we have to learn our
Mhm.
triggers. We have to learn healthy boundaries. We have to not be so thirsty for friendships, knowing when
Mhm.
people are out there to use us just because we're a good name. I want to be friends with everybody, but I had to learn.
Yes.
Mhm.
Everybody doesn't want to be friends with me. Some
Yes.
people are out there. I don't want to think like that, but some people are out there to really
But it's
see
the
what
truth.
they can get, just to
Yes.
sabotage any and everything that I'm doing. But I choose not to think negatively like that. I want to focus more on healing because there's a lot of hurt women, men, children out there that we need to figure out how we're going to help to heal. Because I'm sick of all this anger. And that's it. Thank you.
That was good. I like that. All of that was good. And I'm gonna turn to our comments section for a second. So betrayal and hurt often comes in your inner circle. So I do agree with that. And you just touched on that. And I do want to go to that area because we do need to talk about what trauma bonding is. And we need to talk about what environmental exposure is. Environmental exposure is in our environment, what we're exposed to 100% of the time, what we take with us, which is the bags that we have. Now, they could be good, some good stuff in our bags, and it could be some bad stuff in our bags. But chances are we're dragging something with us that we never learned how to heal from. And that is, how was I treated as this individual? And when I go out, like Sanella said, into the society, I don't know how to really make friends because that probably was never really a conversation that I had, nor was I exposed the right way. Now, when we were kids growing up, when you go out into the community, yeah, you're going to have friends. And I think sometimes we have to prepare our kids that some kids are mean, because they are. And there's nothing
Yes.
wrong with telling them that. You're going to run into some mean kids. I have said that to my granddaughter before she went to kindergarten. I said, you are a sweet little girl. You are. And I say, stay who you are. But you're going to run into some children that are not very nice. And she would say, you know what, Mimi, this girl, she hurt my feelings. And I said, okay, and we'll talk about that. And it's important to talk about it, to get the feelings out, understand where the child is coming from.
Mhm.
But who knows, in our households, all four of us grew up in different households. Did
Mhm.
that conversation happen? Was that encouraged to happen? Where are we with that when you think about
Yeah,
environmental
I don't think
exposure?
it happened for me. I just went out in the world and experienced my share of hurt, grief, betrayal. Okay, you can't say this. This person saying this. Don't repeat this. Don't repeat that. So a lot of things that I learned about trial and error, or like
Mhm.
on the job training.
Right.
So that
Mhm.
wasn't a conversation that was held. My family was very religious. We only talked about God. Okay, I came from
See,
that type.
okay.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
Because
Exactly.
even even like you said, trial and error and growing up. I've always been a person to think to myself, treat people how you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
But even when you're treating people how you want to be treated, people still do you bad. I'd
mhm,
say that even in a relationship, even if you're with somebody for a long time, I am a true believer of love. So if things don't work out, I'm gonna find my person. My person's gonna find me. But then you have some people who feel like I've been betrayed and hurt so badly that I'm gonna cut it all off. So they never
yes.
heal from it. But they're
Mhm.
not open to
Mhm.
heal because they
Yeah.
don't have a lot of times women don't have other women that say, "Hey, I know you've been hurt, but let's look at it this way. Let's do it different and not
Mhm.
look at take the good with the bad
Hmm.
with the good."
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Mhm.
I think that I would always want to be that sister to another woman that I would need.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
you don't always get that. And when you don't get it, you're like, "Okay, I didn't get it." But I don't chalk it up to all women are the same. I'll give
Mhm.
you all that I have until you show me that I can't give it to you.
Mhm.
Well, I would
Exactly.
say I'm there now. We you are. I'm there now, but my theory for really, I'm going to be honest. I didn't. I'm that person that you mentioned, Dr. Dharma. I didn't really fool up with women. It was as I got older and say, wow, those friendships are important to me. People start exposing themselves to me, and this could be helpful to me, and I'm helpful to them. So I'm not only now giving, I'm also on the receiving end too. And it felt good, but there still was that wall up there a little bit, to protect myself, which I don't
Absolutely.
want to call it a wall now. Today I'll call it a boundary. It is what it
Yes,
is.
a
I have to
boundary.
protect my emotions, my feelings, just like I'm teaching others to protect their emotions and feelings. Listen, nobody wants to be hurt.
Mhm.
Right.
But we do
Mhm.
deserve. I'm a love person too. Like, I love. So my thing is, I'm always going to give you the enough opportunity, but after I shut the door, that's it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you,
Now,
as a friend or a so-called or an associate, as a person, should respect that.
Mhm.
yes. Yes.
But
But
people
don't.
usually don't because they don't have their own boundaries and they have their own hurts that
Mhm.
they feel like they can continue to pour their own stuff onto you. Like
Mhm.
I am definitely a firm believer. I am not holding onto anybody else's baggage. I am not
Absolutely.
your
Mhm.
dumping ground.
Mhm. Correct. Because you're taking on someone else's anxiety, you're taking on their problems. There's a difference between being a support system and a bag carrier or the dumping
Yeah.
ground, the dumpy, because they
Mm-hmm,
want to dump on you and then
mm-hmm,
come back and start judging you because you don't want to help them resolve their problem.
Mhm.
That's not how this works. I can support you because I love you because you're my friend and you may need me to vent to, and I may or may not have an answer for you because everybody don't have all of the answers, but having that door open where I can go to you and just vent about something, and then yeah, you if you give me some feedback, I'll be willing to accept it. But check this out, not every woman is ready for that. Hard truth.
Mhm.
I Growing up as a New Yorker, Sanella, you will relate to this.
mm-hmm.
We are all truth tellers in New York. We don't give a damn how you feel. We don't care. It's just one of those, and we shouldn't be that rough, but we are rough around the edges. I don't know if it's the concrete jungle. I don't know. But I do know that we will tell you like it is. And then I had to learn how to curb that. I did, because I a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's a harsh, that's rough," and then I had to think about what I was saying to people, and then I had to fall back and say, "Okay, I can't be that forward because everybody's not used to me being that forward, and they're not or grew up like me, so I
Yes.
have to fall back." Now I have always been the observer anyway, so I'm going to observe your behavior. Then I know how to work with you. I know how to come into you or not. Okay, so I have to work on what I'm getting. What is your energy? What's your
Mhm.
energy about? If you're not a welcome energy, I'm not going to go over in your space because you're telling me that based on your body language. Okay, and other times you may want to try because you never know, that person might be hurting, and that moment you're giving them a space to talk. So I had those moments where I said, well, let me just say hello and see what happens, and all of a sudden the person kind of breaks down and say, oh, I'm having a rough day. And I'm like, oh, maybe I
Yes.
have a sign on me that says talk to me, but you never know. So with women, it's hot and cold. You don't know sometimes, who's welcoming, who's not. Michelle is right when it comes down to boundaries. We have to understand, but the boundary does start with us. What boundaries do we set for ourselves, and how do we move forward? So I'm going to go to our comment section because we got a lot of comments here, ladies. So
I
let's
knew that was
uh,
going. I
yeah,
knew it.
girl, we got a lot of comments.
Really,
So
because
let's
it's a trending topic today. Actually, um,
oh,
friendship hurts. They're equating it to relationship hurts as
Mhm.
well.
Situations
okay.
do that.
It's just as painful, and
Yes,
I would agree. Because think about it,
yes.
So let's get to the comments. I'm excited. I want to
Okay,
see what's
so
out there.
first comment says healthy friendships should be reciprocated, support, encouragement, and truthfulness.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes, should be reciprocated. That is true. That's a balanced and healthy relationship. Do we
Absolutely.
get
It
that
is.
though?
It
What's the
is.
truth here? Do we really get that?
Certain relationships you do.
Yep.
I want to be able to be transparent with all my friends. If I'm going through
Mm-hmm.
this, I need to be able to be comfortable, because some friends we're not comfortable with because of the judgment factor. But I want to be
Absolutely.
able to be comfortable with my friends and say, this is what's going. Like, Girl, let me tell you what happened.
Right.
Now, the
Mm-hmm.
good,
Mm-hmm.
the bad, and the
So,
ugly, and not sugarcoat it.
so I have a question. When so we have a circle of friends, right? And you know
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that one friend is that judgmental friend. Why do we hold on to people?
Yeah,
You
I
shouldn't.
think I think
Yeah.
sometimes it can be history. Like maybe this person you've had a long friendship with over time, and this person may not have been this way, but something happened in this person's life to make them this way. So now they've become totally different, and we kind of hold that hope, thinking they'll kind of go
Ah,
back
that's where I was going. I hope that,
where they used
just
to
like
And
in a
then at what point
relationship,
do you let them go?
You know what? That's
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 a
that's a
you
good question.
decision. That's a
Yes,
you decision,
yes,
I believe. You have to decide, you have to make that choice of, do I want to hold on to this? At what expense? At what cost
Right.
of me
hmm,
Right.
holding on to that relationship? What is it going to cost me to continue that
Yeah.
relationship? Is it going to put me in a friend anxiety, frenzy,
Hmm.
depression? Or
hmm,
am I going to do a whole new chat where I only have those three friends and they're not
hmm.
included? That's weird.
That is weird. That
That's
is
very
weird.
weird.
Yes,
But
So
that's
then
very.
that's
you're gonna have to separate that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How
Mm-hmm.
that's the healing process, because you're
yeah.
gonna feel guilt about letting that go. Because like Johnson said, if you have a relationship, if you've been in a relationship with them and you have history with them, it's a little hard. Y'all probably did some things that y'all would never even tell anybody else. So
That's
y'all did
right.
some things together
You gotta
that
take it to
you
the
can never
grave.
even tell
Yes.
anyone else. Right. So then it feels funny to let it go.
Mhm.
But after they have crossed the boundaries, then you gotta do what you gotta do.
Uh-huh.
And you have
So,
to grow and learn how to heal from that too, because you're gonna be hurt. Because you
yep.
love them, but they
Yeah, but
just
I think you know what it is for me? It's peace. I want
yes,
peace.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't all that negativity and all that
Yeah.
other stuff I don't need. So letting go and boundaries is not me being hurt. Sometimes we hold on to people because we don't want them to be hurt.
Yep.
absolutely. That's the other side. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow,
It's so
Mm-hmm.
true.
that is
That
good.
is the
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
truth. And it's
So
a
is
level
that
of
you
guilt.
now?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you? I apologize, Doctor Abel.
No, no, no.
Is
It's
that
okay.
you now, Michelle, or was that you? Because I could say I've made changes, so I'm there with you now. But I wasn't always like that. I probably was the type of person that would just hold on to people because I didn't want them to be hurt. Today, it's about me.
Yeah,
But
that's how I am now.
okay.
It's
So in the
definitely
past,
about
you
me.
have been. I say that because we have younger listeners on here as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yes.
talking from a mature place, where I've grown up for in my past experiences. But I've invited some people to listen that were actually younger. And at that time, I'm thinking about back in my younger days, I'm just accepting friends. Still
Mhm.
Right.
kind of keeping it,
Small
I'm small,
and
but
protected.
exactly. So now
Mm-hmm.
today, no, there's a
Mm-hmm.
criteria.
Because it's peace. I think that as you get older, all you're simply looking for is peace. You
Peace.
want a good
Absolutely.
Mhm.
circle of friends that we can hang out, we can shop, we can travel. I can call you and say, "Hey, I'm going through this," or she could do the same thing. But
Mhm.
as soon as I feel that negativity and just things that just don't go with my vibe, I gotta let you go. But we have to be comfortable with being by ourselves sometimes, and not a lot of people are okay with being by yourself.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so one more thing. When I looked on psychology today, because I was doing a little bit of research about it, and one of the this thing I want to share, this article, it was Betrayed by Your Best Friend, 6 Ways to Heal Your Heart. It was on
Mm-hmm.
psychology today. And one of the first things they talked about was to clarify the situation. So what do you think about that? As you're clarifying the situation, you know, a situation comes up with a friend, someone who you consider a friend. Do you take the time to, have you taken the time to clarify and see how they receive it? Are they defensive? Are
Mhm.
they receptive?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have. So
Okay.
even
Oh
the
yeah,
one
you just
friend
told us
we
that. Yeah.
did. We did. I had the conversation. I had it multiple times and
Mm,
Mhm.
even when you say heal, I'm healed from my trauma, but it doesn't mean that
That it went
I'm
away.
going to allow you to trigger me
Mm-hmm.
in that same instance because you continue to do what you want to do. But that's just like being in a relationship with a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Am I going to allow you to keep triggering me because I love you and I feel bad because you've experienced what you have experienced? So
Mm-hmm.
my thing is for people, go get healed so that you don't be that trigger for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's listen, that's matter of fact and that's to the point. Go get healed. That's right. Begin to look at yourself because when you start having your insecurities show, that means your horns are showing. And then you start deflecting and then you also start putting your problems on the person that's confident and care about themselves and care about you, but you're willing to bring that person down because you're miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Misery loves company. But
Yeah.
go back to what Michelle is saying, healing is important. You have to heal first before you think that you're going to go out here and befriend another black woman, another woman of color. And we're talking about some black women that just not going to take it after a while and say, I'm done. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's over because enough is enough. Then we can get to the point where we can also say to ourselves, you know what? Our season is over. I had to get there. My
Mm-hmm.
season is over and I'm good with that. It
Mm-hmm.
comes back to what Michelle and I have had these conversations offline about peace. She's exactly right. You have to know your peace is important. Know that and
Absolutely.
put that first. You know, so I agree with that 100%. I'm going to go back to comments real quick. It says, you have to show people how to treat you. People can only do what you allow. So, ladies,
Mm-hmm.
what about this comment?
The truth.
Boundaries. You know, everybody was
Mm,
raised differently. Some people may think different things are the norm, whereas in your home, it wasn't the norm. So you definitely treat people how to treat you. You do that through communication. You know,
yep.
I think it's very important to communicate your needs.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Agreed.
What people don't know, they can't tell. I always felt that a listening ear was a running mouth. Mm.
So, let's talk about that. That's country. That's country. That's down south. That's how we were. That's how we were raised. It's
Hmm.
almost like the what goes on in my house stays in my house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
yeah.
I
Being
think
private and
Right, but
that's
what's the purpose
touchy.
of a friend? That's you know,
Exactly.
yeah, the
Exactly.
friend is for those times because sometimes I don't want to keep it all in. I want to
mm-hmm.
share
Right.
with my friend. That's
Yes.
friend.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
that close bond relationship.
Yes. But
Relationship.
that also goes on to the teachings of our babies. If we
Hmm.
continue to say don't talk about the things that hurt us or keeping things private, they're going into generations and it just continues. So
Absolutely.
I don't agree. I go into relationships and I'm gonna give you all of me. I may not tell you the graphic details, but I'm gonna give you all of me and I'm gonna be authentic about it. How you
Yes.
receive it and who you tell has nothing to do with me. How I
Mm-hmm.
respond to that has everything to do with me.
That's
So
right.
that just might
Hmm.
mean that's the ending of our relationship and our friendship. But I don't think I have done anything in my past that somebody can't know about. And the
Yes.
things that I don't have done in my past, nobody knows about but me in my past. So
Okay.
it's not about keeping everything secret, but I think that we need to have the conversation start at home with our babies,
Hmm. Hmm.
not to be quiet, not to be silent, and not to, yes, some things are not supposed to be spoken to. Because even my grandson, he's that way. He's like, well, my mom told me. And I told her some things he needs to tell his grandma, because if somebody's hurting him and somebody is doing something, we're teaching them they don't know the difference. And sometimes we grow up and
Why do you
don't know
think
the
people
difference.
do that? You think people do that and say that to their kids because of the judgment that might come if someone finds out what you are doing in the house? Or is it like judgment
Probably.
or
Um, so speaking for me, like if I had so that conversation was about the whole pregnancy. They didn't want anybody to know. But I taught my children. I didn't teach my children to not tell either, because I wanted things to be different for me. So even with the abuse, my daughter knew like something was going on. So she would call 911. She would be the one that called the police. So it wasn't, and she wasn't chastised for doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I think
Yes.
a lot of times kids get chastised for doing stuff because the
Yes.
parent knows they shouldn't be doing it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Stop doing
Exactly.
these things in front of your children.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You
If
know,
you don't want it to be
if you
repeated.
don't want it to be, because they're little
Yep.
sponges. They're gonna put it. They're gonna put it out, and if they're
Hmm.
telling one of their friends, you
Mhm.
see.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly. All right, next one. They drag their pain into each relationship they encounter. They don't mean to, but the issue was never dealt with. So it acts like poison until it's dealt
Mhm.
with. So we're talking about the baggage. You know, you bringing in these baggage and you drag it into your relationships and or encounters. So that goes back to even if it's a male and female
Mhm.
relationship, the trust factor. And both sides can have trust issues because of broken hearts. Oh, I don't trust this person. But then you continue to go into a relationship. Why didn't you heal before going into the
heal.
next relationship?
The
You
same
can't.
central answer.
Right. Same
We
thing.
need to heal. But if
Heal.
we push it under the rug and we try to find maybe new partners or new friends to erase that old feeling, and it
Mhm.
winds up sometimes right back at the
That's
same,
right. It's seeping out,
right,
busting at the
it's keeping out.
seams.
So you're letting all those
Yes.
toxins come out into your new relationship, your new friendship, not working on
Mhm.
the old one or getting rid of it,
Mhm.
Right.
you
Or
know.
And then you're
thinking that
bringing
you
in,
don't have it.
Or
right.
thinking exactly. That's even worse. Okay, thinking
Yes.
that you don't have, that you don't need to heal and you're fine
Because
because
a
I
lot of
moved
times
on.
people walk around with, I'm okay.
Yep.
I'm healed, and you're really not okay,
Hmm.
and you're really not healed. But
Mhm.
that goes into the friendship category about saying I'm not okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Where is your friend that you can call to say I'm not okay? And I was just
Right.
glancing at one of the comments, and I don't I'm okay with having a circle of friends that everybody is separate. Everybody plays a role. But what happens to that time when you want all your girls to come together and
Thank you.
you as the
I was
person
looking
sitting
at it.
there knew I told her this secret and I told her this secret. I can't be my authentic self because now I have to remember who I told what, or I can't. That's not a friendship to me. I think
No.
that a friendship to me is I should be able to confide in you without judgment, like we said earlier.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, you do have a friend that you could cry with. I might not want to cry with you today, but I'll cry with the other person. But you may know what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I just think that
Mm-hmm.
I just want all my friends to be in one circle. I would like that. Not that I can have it, I would like it. I would like my friends to be in one circle and we have our sister day and that's it.
Yes, in a real world, could that happen? Possibly. If everyone is at a level of understanding that you're going to bring possibly new people into a circle and you can't be offended by that, or you can't say, well, I don't like that person, but they haven't even said anything to you. The problem is the bond that they have with you is why they don't want to have a bond with the other person or feel like you're trying to take my friend from me. It's not like that. What it comes down to is that, as you stated, Michelle, each person you have encountered, you build something with them, that
Mhm,
friendship, because you had to build one on one at some point, and then that's
mhm,
going to happen. But if your circle is growing and everybody's being brought together and really enjoying each other's company without judgment, without feeling like the next person is a threat to them, that's your security in you, because that person could come in and you don't feel insecure that they're coming to invade your
right.
friendship, because that's not what it's about. It's about the growth of the circle. So if the growth of the circle is a sister circle, let it be true to what it's supposed to be, a sister circle, not you feeling insecure. So I don't like this woman because she's coming in. What do you know about her? Nothing yet.
Right. Right.
Nothing.
You feel that
So
some friendships are territorial?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
But why?
Mhm. That's a
Why?
good question, but why?
Their past trauma.
Past traumas.
Their
Yes.
past traumas.
So
Hmm.
because I've because I've been hurt and now I got this really, really good friend. I don't want to
You
share
feel
with
Yeah,
like
I don't
somebody's going
care.
to, yep.
Right.
You feel like
take it.
somebody's going to take your friend away.
Yep.
Mm,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
But
think that
then
becoming.
that same at the same time, that person can't be in that circle because they're looking at everybody else funny, or
Mm-hmm.
they don't trust. Like I want my circle of women, like you can have an organization of women with women that I don't think people know just how great Black women are, and how if
Right.
we all just move and how we walk into a room and we can take over a room, but I don't think all women think like that. They think self, how
Yes.
that makes them feel. So if I'm your friend, you can't be friends with nobody else, or you can't do this with somebody else because you didn't ask me to do it. I don't know if I
Mm-hmm.
want to be friends with somebody like that.
me either. I don't
Right.
either.
Because that's the
And
insecure
it
friend.
may kind of stem from past abandonment issues as well.
Right.
You never
Yes.
really know what people have been through prior and what they're going through currently.
And trust
Mm-hmm.
and trust too. That big
Trust.
And
T word.
trust.
That whole trust. I believe mainly, like you said, based off their the past history, things that they've gone through, losses that they've probably experienced, and they feel like they finally found a good friend. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they found a good
Mm-hmm.
friend, and but you got to learn how to share that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
But it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, they need to learn that, but I can't learn that for you. And
You're
even
right.
bringing, even bringing bringing somebody in, you can be, they can be the rainy day on everybody's day because of their attitude or their facial
Yes.
expression. So some
Yes.
people, you do have to, girl, you have to stay home this time.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. I know
You
it.
can't come. You
I
Like, 'cause
know it.
you
Yeah.
you don't like them like that, and it might be a little weird if you come.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
you can't come.
I guess you will
I
find a
don't
Yeah.
know.
better way to say that, but that's just the bottom line. It's gonna feel funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
we'll do something later, but you can't do
Right.
this with us today. I don't
Not
know.
not this time. Right.
But why do
Not
we
this
have to
time.
sugarcoat? But we sugarcoat things for people to make other people feel good,
Feel
and
good.
then it ends up
Yeah.
hurting us in the long
Yep.
run.
It does.
Mhm.
It does.
It's
Because you
almost like
also begin to
go
build
ahead.
resentment against them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
The
also,
resentment
on
piece.
another tip, I just thought about something. Some people
Mm-hmm.
have social anxiety too.
Okay.
So
Social
when
anxiety.
it
Speak
comes
to that.
when it comes
That is
to
true.
being around others besides that one or two friend that they have, they get
Mhm.
uncomfortable and they sabotage the relationship,
Exactly.
Yeah.
or they'll run away. So I think that comes into play mostly when you're going out and in that type of environment, not so much on the phone or FaceTime or nothing like something
Yeah.
like that, but when you're going out and you're dealing with someone who has social anxiety and it's more than two or three of y'all, we like to go out with a group of women, like 6, 7, 8, a group of women so we can all have a good time together. But then you have that one who you don't normally invite out because she
Mhm.
has social anxiety and she's going to make everybody else feel uncomfortable.
Yes, because
Yes.
they may not want to be there. And I'm glad you brought social
Yes.
anxiety up because it's a newer word, but it's been happening. They just actually just put an actual diagnosis to it. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. Everybody,
Yeah.
people don't
Mm-hmm.
like crowds, right? People don't want to go
Yeah.
be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
actually, and it's more people than we think. So that
Yes.
could be
Mm-hmm.
like a big trigger once it comes to
And it's
going out.
different levels too.
Yes.
There's different levels to it. Some people just really can't be out
Mm-hmm.
uh, with other people, but it messes it up for them, because how do you make friends like that?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You build on these
Exactly.
relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. But the challenge is to challenge yourself when you're in a state where you feel like Am I socially challenged? And if I am, I need to take some baby steps on how to do that. So
Yes.
that can begin in smaller crowds first and
Yes.
then work your way up, because you're right. What damage are you causing to yourself? And then it goes back to what sabotaging behaviors would you have with your other friends to
Mhm.
get them to not be around others. So,
Mhm.
you brought up self sabotage. That's a big thing too.
Mhm.
When a person is that broken, they self sabotage a lot, and then they bring that on to others, and
Others.
they're willing to sabotage the relationships within a circle by saying, well, let me talk to this group of people, and then we can be against this group of people. And that's a sabotaging behavior, because all along you're self-sabotaging by saying, oh, I'm uncomfortable around these people, so I'm going to find a way not to be a part of something. But
Mhm.
then you're trying to pull others with you. So that's an issue for me too, that there are a lot of people out there that I have encountered that are like that, self-sabotages. Then when you bring them into a circle, they break the circle apart, and they find ways to do it. So those type of people, and it goes back to what we said earlier, self-healing. If you become aware, because everybody isn't always aware of their behaviors, but say if someone has the courage to bring it to you and say, I notice you have self-sabotaging behaviors, you need to look into that, because you're doing stuff that's not cool, and you're affecting everybody when you're doing it. That comes down to judgment. You judge everything. You Back to what Michelle said, if we walk into a room together, the four of us, we know we are the it, okay? But
Mhm.
we walking in there together knowing that. We're
Mhm.
not just saying, oh, look at Michelle, she thinks she all of that because she got that on. No, no, no. We walked in with our crowns up all together, and we walk in and know we are a powerhouse. So
Mhm.
yes, somebody's going to want to come up to talk to us, because they're trying to figure out, who are these women, who are they, because they came in confident, and they're standing side by side with each other. And that's how we're confident, and we have self-care, we have self-love, because no one is affecting the other person, because we can all be in the same room at the same time. So it comes down to, who are you as the individual, right?
Mhm.
So one of the other comments here too is, when people show you who they are, believe them. You're right.
Mhm.
I'm learning that all the time. Hmm.
Yeah, I know people say zebra never changes its stripes, but do you think they do? Do you think people change as far as friendships and the way we handle friendships and our journey throughout getting relationships going and keeping them healthy? Do you think we change, or do you think we kind of stay the same?
I would hope.
Possibly. I think if you heal and you find what's going on with you, then yes, you can change, because no one is above change. But if you fear change, then you're going to be pigeonholed. That's the problem. The fear of change. What does that look like if I step out of my normality, which is abnormality?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where the problem comes in, at is self. Look at inner self first. What is going on with me to make me feel this way, or why I can't keep friends? That's the other thing. Examine that. When you can't keep friends, is something wrong. It's not the friends, it's you, because each person goes away from you. You're the common denominator. Look at yourself, please. Look at yourself. Maybe
Absolutely.
I'm talking too harsh, or saying something that I shouldn't say, or maybe I'm bringing self sabotaging behaviors in the circle. So start looking at you and
Mm-hmm.
see, reevaluate. That's what I would say. Reevaluate that. Let's see here. I have another comment. It took me most of my life to stop taking on other people's bags. I learned I can still love and support without taking on other people's bag that I realized was thrown on me to carry with them. If they aren't willing to lighten up their load and go through their own bags, or through their own bags, why do I continue to carry their load? I had to learn to put other people's bags down, because it was weighing just as heavy on me, and it wasn't my things. You speak
That's
truth to
deep.
power, sister, because I'm pretty sure the four of us have done that at some point. We carrying
Mhm.
other people's loads, and it's weighing us down.
Yes, yes. And my favorite term is I got problems of my own. Like I got my own problems going on.
I got my own problems.
I'm
I
gonna speak
know.
for yours.
Well, I would
Hmm.
say, ladies, to me that comment to me comes from a person who may be involved in like the ministry of helps, you know, always wanting to be there, always wanting to be supportive, but everybody doesn't know. Again, it's the whole boundary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone doesn't know how to receive or accept what you're giving, you
Yes.
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
we get taken advantage of. I'm
Mm-hmm.
guilty of that. I'm going to try to
Mhm.
help you until I can't help you no more. And you might even have to say, "That's enough. I don't. That's it. I don't want to." Because I'm
And
gonna
it's
try to
hard
help
when
you.
you're in the it's hard when you're in the profession of helping. When you're
Yes.
really in the profession of helping, you carry
Right.
people's stuff home. You're a natural carrier of people's stuff
Mm.
Yes.
because you constantly want to fix people, which is why sometimes we hold on to people
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
we
Exactly.
see good in people. We know we think that people are going to change, and if we give you a little bit more time, things will change. You'll change,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it comes with being a good person.
And that's
Yes.
true. And thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I
Yes.
received that.
And you
Um,
are. See,
but
because
my
and
new
you
thing
know
is,
that.
I'm not going to help you if you're not helping yourself. I'm not
Yep.
going to put more into it. Let me fix that.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
going to put more work into it than you are. We're going to do this
Mhm.
together because at the end of the day, we all need some type of healing from one thing or another. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we all need the support. Those days are over. I don't need nobody. Yeah, we can say that, but we really do. You know, we
That's but
need
because we've
others.
been betrayed. People have been betrayed so much by other people that they do say, I don't need nobody. I have myself.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Or
Mhm.
and I'm okay.
Okay with that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yep. And then they
And then
get
just shut
lonely.
the door
Yeah.
and go
Yep.
into another relationship and
Yeah.
mess it up.
And mess it up.
Or they're just
Exactly.
miserable individuals in general. Like that
Mhm.
miserable person that you see at the store because of past betrayals
Hmm.
and hurt.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pain is real.
It
Pain
It
is
is.
so
is.
real and we can't ignore it. So when a person hurts us, we do go through that reservoir of pain because it's a reservoir because it's coming fast and it's flowing
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
and you're trying to figure out what did I do to become, have this much pain from this person?
Right.
What is causing this? But
Mm-hmm.
then when you start really self-analyzing and just looking at the whole relationship, and those of you that are listening to us, you could do it just like anything else. Pros and cons. What is that person bringing to you? What are they not bringing to you? And what is the load that you're taking on? Because you, again, you're forgiving, you're forgiving, you're forgiving, and then the pain comes, and then it's like, what do I do with that? But here's where you're flirting on, I'm not trusting anybody anymore. That's when it becomes the problem. After reading a couple of these comments too, what do y'all feel about trust has to be, it's not automatically given, it should be earned? Do you believe that?
You know what? I try to go into relationships, just focused. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But people tell me that's me being naive, you know. I try to give people a chance, right? I give people a chance. And try not to go in relationships with judgments. Just try to be open
Mm-hmm.
minded to things. I guess I give people trust until they give me a reason not to trust.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That's
Exactly.
my motto. Yes.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't just automatically say I don't trust you. It doesn't work like that for me. I work off of energy, and I learned that through the years that we are people. We're spiritual people, and we feel another person's energy. If your energy is off, I can say, "Oh, it look like you're not having a good day today," right?
Hmm.
So I may not
Mhm.
even bother you, but I may acknowledge that. I'm here for you if you need me, right? I'll do
Right.
that. If I know you're standoffish or you're mad or whatever the case may be, I am going to fall back and leave you alone. If you're
Hmm.
open, I know that I can walk up to you. So it's a lot of energy for me because that observing person that I am, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what is the body language telling me. because I don't want to come into your space and you don't want me there. And plus, I know me. If I feel rejected by you like that, then what am I automatically going to do? Just like any other person, you're going to go on the defense because you're like, well, you're coming off nasty, so I'm going to come back nasty. Instead, read what the person is showing you. And that's how you know to move around them. And then just so be it. Nothing is personal all the time. It's not always against you. It's just what you're reading. Okay. I can't say that for everybody, but I can say it for me. That's what I do. Okay. So back to the comments here. Because I'm gonna read quickly now so we can move because the time is slipping and we do need to talk about healing too. Which one you want me to read?
Look at J.W. Piercy.
J.W. Piercy. Okay. I know this show is for the ladies, but don't waste any more time checking baggage. Become the baggage claim. Become the baggage claim. Don't lose your peace giving pieces of you to those never deserved it. That's true. That's very true. Does that resonate with anyone, on this panel and even in the comment area, those that's watching us?
Yeah, everybody's not deserving of our time, but we won't know that until we give it a chance, right?
Yeah.
And then once we give it a chance, then we cut it off when it needs to be cut off. But everybody's not deserving, 2, 3, 4 years out of our life, because then we look back, well, I done wasted all that time.
All that time
And investment energy.
And there was red flags in the beginning.
Yes.
Thank you. Red flags.
And we just ignored it, or they'll change, or no, maybe I could help them. I could work with them, and they could.
Yes, I can help them, but that goes back to us being helpers. That's what Michelle just said about. She said, "Well, if you're in the helping business, you're automatically going to do that. We are going to give people more and more chances." And prior to that, I can tell you when I was younger, mostly in my 20s, I didn't forgive you like that. Once you cross me once, I'm done with you because I'm not going to let you do that to me. Then I got softer as the years went by, and then I also realized too, being in the medical field, you're a helper. And that's what I did. I help people. Then I went on the other side of helping people again, go help them through their problems. So I too, and when I tell you therapy is really good, even if you're not in therapy yourself and you happen to be a therapist yourself or in any type of counseling, please apply some of those things to yourself because you're not bigger than the things that you learn. Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I learned a lot of things, especially through grief and bereavement. When my mom died, I didn't know how to handle that because I was 12. But as I began to learn about grief and bereavement, I understand now. And you don't understand a lot of things until you actually learn it. So when I was learning it and teaching others, I was learning something from them. They were learning something from me. So when you think about relationships, do the same thing. What is healthy for me? What is healthy? What is not healthy for me? So we're going to move into what does healing look like before we're done for the day. What does healing look like, you all, from betrayal and broken trust in friendship? What would that look like?
Peace and a sunny day.
All right. That's one. Peace and a sunny day.
Yes. I would say closure. Closure, being able to see that friend, not be aggressive towards that friend, but just to be cordial, to the ex-friend, and keep it moving.
Yes.
I would say forgiveness. Yes. Forgiveness towards that friend, but also forgiveness to yourself, because you may internalize some of the things that you've gone through. You may have some feelings about some things you could have done differently. So you also need to forgive yourself as well as that friend.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Peace of mind, forgiveness is important. And when you are forgiving yourself, just note that, I'm human and I missed the red flags, but now I see them. And use that as your learning experience and say, I'm going to take this experience now and not say I don't trust. What I'm going to do is isolate each person to understand who they are and where they're coming from, because you can't put everybody in the same category. It is unfair. Yes. If you're in a circle of women and you happen to see that person doesn't fit, that's a puzzle piece that really has to go. And you have to be honest, because the at the end of the day, they're going to ruin everything that we're trying to do. So if we're in a circle of women who are so secured in themselves, and I can be around the next woman and I have no problem with that, but you have that one person and you've given them all the chances you can get, and say you started that friendship with them, as Michelle said, your peace come first. So you got to know when to say your season is up, and it is what it is, and you have to live without guilt.
So I
Absolutely.
have a question with the closure. What does closure look like? What does closure look like for you? And what does closure look like for you?
Closure for me would be me knowing that I did all that I can in a relationship. And you got to know when it's your time to say, this is enough for me, and know that I don't carry no guilt. I did all of that could. You could put that olive branch out. You can do all that you can. But me, I have to be secure with myself to say, this is the end, and know that it can be painful. Acknowledge my pain about it and say, that did hurt me, but it's a reason why this is coming to the end. And I
Yes.
have to be okay with that. And that's me going through some of because there are recent changes that I had to make on my own right now that I had to do, and I was okay with it. And you got to do that. And I have to do it for my sanity. So having that closure is me getting back parts of me too, because you are giving yourself out to that other person when you exchange in that friendship, that energy, all of that.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you said closure. I'm glad that we all brought up closure. That was good, Michelle, because sometimes we think that we can't close the door, or that maybe it's not right because of however we might feel, or maybe whatever upbringing we have. But we need to know it's okay to kind of shut people out your life. Let go of toxic relationships. It's okay to break up toxic relationships and just say no more. I'm going to take a stand and set in place proper boundaries. It's very important.
Yes. Yes.
For me,
So
closure is self. I'm sorry. For me, closure would represent like a self reflection as well as forgiveness. I'm always going to stay with forgiveness because I know that unforgiveness can lead to a whole lot of other things, that I'm just not willing to partake in. So I would go with a self-reflection and forgiveness, mainly of myself. Because if I let you go, I don't already forgiven you. So I got to work on me at that point.
Mm-hmm.
with closure, so I have another question. So with closure, we know we have closure within for ourselves. Do
Mhm.
we close the door and let the other person know we're closing the door? Can we close the door and just be like, I'm done. I don't owe you anything, an explanation? How does that look for you guys?
I,
Depending on the situation. For me, depending on the situation, because that closure without that closure and just shutting the door, I don't know how that could pop back up again. Probably for
Right,
me.
yeah,
right.
I just think
So
communication is important.
yes. Hmm.
Let me know what's going on.
Right.
Don't have me waiting. Let me know what's going on. you
Right.
know
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Mm-hmm. I think it's depend on who I'm talking to and the situation, because not everybody will be receptive to you saying, I'm going to close that door and I'm going to walk away. No. And
But do
sometimes I
we
feel
owe people that?
words.
We don't
I
owe
don't think
anyone
no.
anything.
I don't. Oh
Whatever.
no.
We don't owe you anything.
No, right. Listen, I'm gonna stay black and die. That's it. I'm owing me. I don't
in the
owe
IRS. Yep, that's
because
it.
we're social creatures. Is why we're social with people. We're born that way. But do we have to give everybody an explanation why we exiting? No. Take a hint. You already know why. Chances are, a lot of people know why the door is
Absolutely.
closed. There's nothing
Absolutely.
wrong with the person and they don't know. They know exactly why those doors are closed. But I respect all of you by, each of you and what you're saying, you can communicate, you could do this. But again, I think it depends on the maturity of the person who you're talking to. But I do believe chances are they're aware. Once you no longer are in their life and you decide to exit out, there's no way you can't miss that. There's no way. But That's what I would say for that. And that was an excellent question. I love that question. It was
Mhm,
good. Very
mhm.
good.
I mean,
So,
because some people struggle with that. Like, do I tell the person that I'm done, or you know what I mean? What I have done would may have be different than what you do. And I had a
mhm,
conversation with somebody this morning that told somebody, you did this to me, and they're like, I don't want to be bothered, but they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings at the same time. So I said, just
yeah,
take time for yourself. You don't have to respond. Just
yeah,
because you call me and text me doesn't mean I have to respond to your messages. I told you
mhm.
what you did, and that to me is
That's
closure.
it.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. And that's enough. So you did your part. And I have to agree with this last comment. I'm gonna read this last comment here. They know what they did. Why do we need to tell an adult? Exactly. You are an
And I
adult.
know that,
You know
yes.
exactly what you did. You know you went out and you did something you shouldn't have done. So you're aware of it. So I agree. Now, I'm sorry for all the comments I didn't get to, but the ones that we did read was very strong, very powerful, and we thank you for your comments, of course. And this series was very, very good. It was a hard topic, and also a rewarding topic because it gave a lot of these sisters and brothers that have been, listening to us too, to see what it means to have a friendship. What does that look like when it is healthy? And then what does it look like on the other side when it's not healthy? And what do you do and how do you deal with that? And walking away with knowing that, you do have resolutions. You can walk away and feel good about it. And you will feel pain. So let's not sugarcoat that you won't feel it. You are, because you're human. You're going to feel a pain. You're going to feel what they did to you. But you got to know that you can heal from it just like any other relationship. And when it becomes too much, then you have that true sister circle. Go to a person and tell them how you're feeling and just say, I'm hurt. And this is hurting me, and this is why. Because at least now you're going to let it out instead of internalizing. Because resentment comes when you internalize it instead of externalizing it and just getting rid of it, and just kind of you're forgiving yourself and then closing it off and saying, now that I got it out, now I can go on and move on. So, we really appreciate all of you coming on, and enjoying this series with us. And we look forward to we into April already, so we into our next month. But be sure to follow us, on Facebook, YouTube, and especially your favorite stream. Michelle, thank you so much for coming on as one of our hosts.
You're welcome.
Because that it's great when we were able to pull other women in to our conversations that we have talked to in the past, and you have been on our show in the past. So that was very nice to have you on. So we would look forward to having you on as a guest speaker again. And
Thanks for
then
having me.
yes, thank you. And those of you again that are watching us and listening to our broadcast, we thank you so much for following us and listening to us every 2 weeks. And we hope we're bringing you some great content, real life things that are happening to us in this beautiful, grand, hurtful society we live in. Okay, so we just bring you as much truth as we can. So, ladies, before we end for the day, I'm gonna give you a chance to end with your parting words, and we will move forward on our weekend. So, Rajanta, any parting words before we leave for the today?
Yes, have a great weekend. I thank everyone, each and everyone, for watching. Hopefully, you were able to get something out of this week's podcast.
Okay, Sanella.
Okay, I just want to quickly run over the 6 ways to heal your heart that I found on Psychology Today.
Sure.
Number one would be, it says, to clarify the situation. Two, accept and process your feelings. Three, consider whether or not to process the feelings with the person who hurt you or the person you hurt. Four, decide whether or not you can forgive your friend. Five, recognize that there's no single right way to handle a betrayal. And six, remember that it may not be what it seems. So, a lot of those things we touched on today, and I just would admonish you to heal. Work on your
Okay.
healing. We all need it. Have a good
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you. And Miss Michelle, your parting words.
Thank you for having me. Um, I do agree with what everybody said to heal. I think that the last part that I would ask of you ladies is to tell people where they can seek help when they need help. Because some people don't want to ask for it. Some people don't know where to look for it. Some people
Mm.
go for it and they go to the first person that's not their person. Don't stop at that person. Look for somebody else. That's my encouragement for somebody else. Be the person that you would want somebody to be to you. And have a
Absolutely.
good week. Have a good weekend. And again, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for that suggestion and recommendation. So those of you that are looking for help and you need someone to talk to, there are so many different avenues. But once you go on Psychology Today, if you are looking for a therapist and someone that is unbiased, you get the opportunity to talk to someone without judgment, without feeling like you have no one to talk to. But that is an avenue that you can go towards. If you have a circle of friends or a sister friend, this is the person you trust, this is your ride or die, please turn to that person and talk to them how you're feeling. Level out with them and let them know, because you don't want to carry on something you don't need to carry with you. And, in the future, when you're thinking about friendships, everything Miss Sanella said to you today, please think about that when it comes to healing. Also, think about the red flags, which is something she talked about earlier today. And in the end, you know what? It's all about you, what you allow, and what you put back out. And just know that we are social creatures. We don't know everyone that walk into our lives, but know when your sanity and your peace come first. So look, have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your holiday week, because you're going to have a day off. So
Yeah.
enjoy and be safe. And we thank you for joining us on the couch, and take care, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining on the couch this evening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and if you want to contact Dr. Diamond, you may reach her at candidconversations.dr.d@gmail.com. Have a great evening, and we will see you on the next show.